Alright everyone, new week, new Odyssey, let's do this. By the way, bit of deja vu, look where I am. Anyway, forget that, this is our team. That's not our team. This is our team. It's pretty straightforward. You can choose between these 5 heroes, but honestly, I think you're fucked if you choose anyone else, honestly. I personally love Quincy. Very cheap, very effective in popping all types of balloons. Picking Benjamin's probably not a great idea. Same with Striker Jones, unless... Not Striker Jones, fucking... that one. This guy right here, Tanky Monkey Boy. Anyway, we're gonna dive into this. This is what the maps and stuff look like. Very fun. Anyway, we're just gonna start. An unlikely team. You don't see these towers together often, but they'll still pop balloons like no other. Something. They pop balloons. Right. The reason I'm sort of rushing this is essentially what happened is I played on this map and it was fun, right? It was a good time, sort of. Overall, it was great. You know, it would have been better is if I had the dicks. The dicks. If I had the disk space to finish the recording and not have OBS crap out on me 12 minutes in. Now, according to the 12 minutes of footage that I did get, I got to round 40 on this map, right? Not very far. Not very far at all. It wasn't ideal whatsoever. At all, right? I got to round 40 and then my game was just like, ha! You'll continue playing. OBS will give you 0 notification on the fact that they've stopped the recording early and will just be like, oh, whoops. You closed BTD6, you signed off, you said everything you wanted to say, but guess what? Silent notification came up in the background and it says there's not enough disk space to continue the recording. So, what do you do in those situations? Very simply, you do the exact same strategy you did last time and just copy everything from memory. By the way, no, this won't conk out at round 40 again, like I hear you say, because whilst the second I realized that I was out of disk space, for some reason, and I don't know why I did this part, I could have potentially not done this part and everything would have been great. I deleted the 12-minute file. I went to my recycling bin, saw not only the 12-minute file, but also a 4 GB file in there from last week's Odyssey that I should have deleted, but I didn't. And also proceeded to look through my Steam library to delete and make some room in there. Or not delete, but uninstall a bunch of games that were taking up a lot of space that I haven't played in fucking ages, right? So, in theory, we should not only have 12 minutes worth of recording, but we should also have an extra, I don't know, around like 7 or 8 gigs to fill space. And I think that'll last the rest of the Odyssey. I don't know why it's taking up so much space recording this, but it is, and that's just something I've got to deal with. Anyway, to give you a recap of roughly everything that I said in the last, not only the last 12 minutes, but the however long time it took to get the rest of map 2 out, to give you the most brief recap of every single thing that I said throughout these 2 maps. My workplace sucks. If I started up a rival company and actually had the motivation to see it through, they would crumble. And if I took over their company, they would be billionaires. Full stop. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Maybe we're only talking millions. But overall, they make terrible fucking decisions, and I think I could do better. However, they're paying me, and I'm very lazy, so I still work for them. But who knows? Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, that literally sums up everything I just complained about. The only other things is I had today off, so I got to jump on the Odyssey early. Fat load of good that did. But yeah, got to jump on the Odyssey around 4 o'clock. As I would have preferred to do every week, but, you know, work takes priority. But yeah, I had the day off. I've had pretty much the week off. The work group chat is blowing up and crumbling as I had predicted it would around a week and a half ago. So yeah, that whilst I do feel bad for everyone that's currently working there now, that are like, you know, friends of mine, I do also want to go back tomorrow and be like, did you have a good day? No? Oh, that's weird. If only someone would have predicted that, maybe. That's so fucking weird. If only someone had told you that this was a terrible goddamn idea. Anyway, I've been having a great time at home, relaxing, watching TV shows and movies, and sadly sweating my ass off because I'm not currently working in a freezer. That's the only reason I would want to be at work today, is that I'd get to work in the freezer with everybody else. I would happily freeze myself to death and burn to death. Ugh, any day of the week. I don't understand why people like it really hot. Like my mum, she loves the heat. She absolutely loves it, and I don't understand. Me personally, no. I'd much rather be living in Antarctica than anywhere near this heat. We should have $500 to be able to purchase this next round. Very important, because it helps us kick this Moab's ass. Don't get me wrong, I don't think I had this one last time, so this will help as well. But yeah, I've obviously done this before because I'm a time traveler. But yeah, this is generally what I did the first time, which, in all honesty, I was gonna, if I didn't immediately delete the recording of the first 12 minutes, they did get me to roughly round 40. So if I didn't delete it, I was just gonna upload that as the initial 40 rounds, and then just cut in and be like, so you know what happened? But since I deleted it immediately like an idiot, I now have to re-record the first map. Luckily, we're on a speed run at the moment, and we're smashing it for time. Let's check. What are we doing? We're at 8 minutes 15 seconds. You know what that means? We still got another 4 before the original video would have conked out. Luckily, I've made some extra space as well. I'm not that much of an idiot, so in theory we should be fine. And considering the other video I deleted from my recycling bin permanently was an Odyssey Part 2, those are typically longer because it's 3 maps and it's the final 3 maps. And that's pretty much it. So, in theory, if I delete something that is typically longer in the same sort of file, recording the same sort of thing, with the same sort of stuff on the screen going on, then in theory I should have plenty of room for a lesser file with a similar amount of stuff going on the same screen for a shorter amount of time. Makes sense? It made sense to me. Anyway, how are we looking? Perfect. So I think this will cruise us through to round 60. However, there is an issue with the second map, and you will see that issue rather quickly if you've been playing this similarly to how I do it, where you go for no monkey knowledge, no insta-monkeys, no powers and things like that. You will notice a very, very big issue on the second map, right at the beginning, funnily enough. I don't know if Ninja Kiwi thought about this, or if they just assumed everybody would have the resources to get and buy it, but you'll see what I'm talking about soon enough. Anyway, But yeah, so pretty much the entire time I was ranting about my workplace, it was either the last 2 minutes of the first 12 minutes of the recording that you guys will never see, or it is the following, like, I don't know, 18 or 20 or so minutes after that, when I was just ranting to literally nobody. It felt good to do, though, so I'm not going to repeat myself, because, I don't know, feels alright now. But yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm going back to work tomorrow, so if there's any fucking problem, you'll hear about it then. But we're just about to afford a balloon solver, not that we'll need it, but, I mean, why not, right? May as well while we're here. Take us to around 60 on an absolute cruise. Not too shabby at all. Oh, also the sort of intro to this Odyssey in the previous video was something, garbage towers, something. I was surprised to find out that I actually used the mortar more than the ice monkey in terms of tower XP, but I think that is due to the fact that I never really appreciated the ice monkey in the early games, like when BTD6 first came out, but I did appreciate the mortar for the biggest one. It was so satisfying just wiping the fucking screen. Anyway, tell me if you've spotted the issue with map 2 with no monkey knowledge and no powers and no insta-monkeys. I'll give you a hint. That's weird. Why would that be an issue? I don't see why that would be an issue. I mean, it's only really an issue if you're not doing any damage whatsoever. You can't afford a damaging tower or an upgrade to damage. And of course, there was the perfect amount of lives to just take you out on round 6. Anyway, monkey knowledge is required. Pretty hilariously early. Thank you. So, we will be using it for this map. I did point out a few monkey knowledge upgrades that you can afford, or you can get pretty cheaply or pretty early on, in order to make this a little easier on yourself if you don't have all of the monkey knowledge unlocked. And I will list those monkey knowledge points now, but I'll probably just relist them after this anyway. Mana Shield. This bad boy gives you 25 extra lives that aren't attached to these original 50 lives, and if you go a round or two without losing lives, this will regenerate if it is not at 25. It'll give you +5 every round after a round where you have not lost any lives. Pre-game prep, you probably saw the spike pile over here, right at the start of the game. That is called pre-game prep. I believe it is in the powers tab, and it puts a nice little spike pile at the end of the track to pop some balloons if they leak through. The combination of these two monkey knowledges together makes an incredibly powerful early game start. In the primary tab at the very bottom, right in the middle where two other upgrades sort of converge from the sides onto it, is a very simple upgrade, very straightforward upgrade, that just simply says increase starting cash by 200. That would immediately get you out of the mud here, allowing you to start off with Quincy, allowing you to start off with an Ice Monkey or a Mortar Monkey, or a Glue Gunner that actually deals damage, you know? Something that's actually useful, right? Instead of not being able to afford anything but a Glue Gunner, and on top of that, not being able to afford an upgrade that actually lets it deal damage. Ninja Kiwi. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure they're not... Obviously Ninja Kiwi and I are not the same person. I wish, sometimes, but that's not always the case, right? But yeah, obviously Ninja Kiwi and I, different people. Entirely different people. So they don't have to go by my mindset of I think all Odysseys should be doable without monkey knowledge as well as with monkey knowledge, but only supplying minor extra benefits for with monkey knowledge. So to put it in perspective, I think all Odysseys should be completable by every player, regardless of their progress in the game, in terms of monkey knowledge and insta-monkeys and all that jazz, right? Obviously, if they've never played the game before, and they immediately jump into Odysseys, they're probably not going to have a great time, but every attempt they make, they'll be leveling up towers, they'll be getting XP, they'll be unlocking new upgrades, and they'll actually be progressing. It's a bit interesting to start off with just doing the Odysseys on day one of a fresh account, but it genuinely would be doable. You might take a couple of attempts, depending on how savvy you are with the towers, but either way, Ninja Kiwi obviously don't think the same way I do. They don't think that the Odyssey should be doable by people with all levels of monkey knowledge. They just kind of let it out into the wild and go, you need monkey knowledge? Get monkey knowledge. Idiot. Anyway, we seem to be doing alright. Obviously, you'll see 1 or 2 lives slip through every now and then, but either the glue gunner will have popped them before they even reach the end, or they'll reach the end and we'll just regenerate it back, because mana shield is a thing. A very, very handy thing. Right, do we need exploding arrows every 3rd shot? But that's fine, because we've got the glue gunner. We've got the glue gunner to cover our ass. Ooh, that doesn't look good at all. Luckily, once again, mana shield. It's a thing. Look it up. You don't have to. I told you what it was. Pay attention. Come on, that'll be on the test. Anyway. As you can see, we've still only got 9 lives because we lost some that round, but because we didn't lose any this round, we got +5 lives at the end of it, and that will continue so long as we keep not losing lives in the rounds. So as you can see, back to 19. After this round, 24. And yes, after this one, just 25. We're not going up to 29, as much as that would be nice. Sadly not. And anyway, Quincy will actually learn triple damage to the Moab class balloons early because of the monkey knowledge that we have now given him, because I do have it all, which includes him starting at level 3 and gaining XP 10% faster? I think that's an upgrade? Maybe? Anyway. Worst comes to worse, you can do the same strategy as on the last map, where you can just buy triple damage to Moab class balloons as an upgrade. Very useful upgrade. Make sure you save Quincy's ability for round 40 if you're doing that. Otherwise, I'm not entirely sure how great of a setup this would be. You don't need the village this early. Yeah, you definitely don't. If you've got the Ice Monkey that is able to see camo balloons, and Quincy, that's already a step above what we had on the last map. But, yeah, we'll just see how we go. Anyway, let me just check. How's OBS doing? Running smoothly? Okay, we're approaching the 20-minute mark. We've officially made space on the computer enough to reach there. That's good at least. Let's try and pick this up then. I don't want to reach another limit of disk space if I can help it. Still can't believe I said dick space. Ha! That was the first thing that exited my mouth the second I thought about talking about it. Good old dick space. That sounds like a futuristic... Sounds like a futuristic gay dating website. Dick space. Something you'd find on Futurama. I remember the episode where they went into the internet, or into like cyberspace. Amazing episode. Sadly, it took a turn for more of an episode about Leela, which, you know, I'm not disappointed at, but I wish they got to spend more time in the cyberspace. I think that was a fun storyline. But it's sort of like this game, where like, well, I guess it's like anything really. You get something new, something fun, and it's enjoyable for a bit, but then after a while, if they just keep at it over and over again, then you sort of get bored and you're just like, well, what's different, you know? Where's this going? So I understand that the time in the cyberspace in that one Futurama episode was fun but limited. But yeah. Good episode. Give it a watch. Okay. It does involve, like, I guess at the time, the main reason I was so sort of like excited by it, because when I watched it, I was much younger, and at that time there wasn't VR headsets that were just available to the public that you could just go out and buy and have an amazing virtual reality experience. But obviously in the show they put on VR headsets, gloves and shoes, by the way. So they're still ahead of their time, because I don't think we have VR shoes. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't looked into it enough. But they put them on, and they're walking and running around in cyberspace. And they've got like finger guns, essentially. And it's just like going to laser tag or some shit, where you're just running around an environment filled with boxes and obstacles and ramps and stairs and, you know, lookouts and windows and shit, and you can just sort of point your finger and shoot it like a gun, and lasers would come out and tag the other people. Although in the cyberspace world, they'd shatter into glass, which was a pretty cool feature, honestly. I dig that. I need to go back to do more VR stuff. I've never done it like as recording for YouTube or anything like that, because I don't have the space to set up VR, and even if I did, I don't have VR, so I'd have to buy it as well. I also don't know what the best type of VR is, like what's got the best games and all that, but I'll look into that in the future when I've got the space to implement it. But yeah, it's just so cool. And I've been to a virtual reality experience before with my family. That is amazing. They essentially just have like a massive area, and there's like, I think 8 VR stations all set up in the same room. And so you can just go in there, rent it out for a bit, and you and your family can just hook up to this VR stuff, grab the handles, and just play games together. It's really great. It really is. I felt bad for my family, because I was really good at the fucking shooter games, because I've been playing Call of Duty for like ever. So I just had that shit on lock. You know, like taking a shot, immediately realizing that the controller's like a bit off or a bit wonky, and then adjusting to make the shot every time. I just fucking nailed it, and I felt bad for them because it was like obvious that I was crushing. I did try to hold back a bit, but clearly didn't work. But yeah, we did play a variety of other games as well, with that's like rhythm games, you know, exploration games, co-op games where we're all fending off hordes of zombies or something together. You know, it wasn't just me proceeding to crush my family in shooting games all night. I could do that any night. But yeah, honestly, great experience. Would do it again. Might do it again soon. I don't know. Anyway, look at that. Back where we were. Are we still recording? We're still recording, ladies and gentlemen. 25 minutes in. Would you look at that? Anyway, that has been an Unlikely Team Part 1. You don't see these towers often together. Same. but they'll still pop those balloons like no one's business. Anyway, Moon Landing, Balance, and Dark Path will all be completed in part 2, which will be released tomorrow. I will turn Monkey Knowledge back off for that, because it was only necessary on that map as a start. But yeah, so that's been part 1. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.